Welcome back, followers of the channel and followers of, I'll say this series of videos for doing this room out. This is section 3, part 3, un, deux, trois, that's my French. Where are we? When I last saw you on the last video, because we're all linking these all together, I said next time you'll see me, I've had this room painted out, and I have done. I got the second coat on the walls, and 2 coats have been brilliant to the Optiva 5 in that filled back with special mix of paint, using up stuff we've got in the workshop. So I'm back now. Sorry the light's poor. These eco-friendly bulbs are rubbish, aren't they? But I'm back on the woodwork. Now, you know, from video 1 of this series, I did get all the woodwork rubbed down and I gave it a coat of 123 from Zinza, just as a grip coat primer, because it had got oil eggshell on. So now I'm coming in to get a first coat on, because I'm not going to bore you coating up rooms like that. I'm using the eggshell from WRX, and a few videos back, I can't remember, a while back when I was testing rollers, microfibre rollers, you know, the little ones, 2 fussy blokes and stuff, somebody says get some ProDec Advance. So I am trying the microfibre ProDec Advance, and I've done what you've said. Sorry, I've forgot your name, who it was, but you mentioned Toolstation. So I've got the receipt in there, because I'll claim the expenses of that. Packet 10 cost me £6.26, which I believe was roughly about the same price as what I could get them at Paintwell, but just to do a bit of something different, I thought I'll try Toolstation. So we've got a roller, which I'll do the door. The skirtings I'll do with a brush, and I've got the Arrowworthy. I've got an 1.5" slash cut to cut in the top edge, because I'm not taping. Big boys don't tape, do they? Ooh. And I've got a 2-inch flat traditional Arrowworthy brush of the classic range, just to do the filling, which I'll probably be using on there as well as the roller. Anything else I've got to say? Yeah. I don't know if you can see it. I've cut the carpet, so I've taken a couple of inches around the edge perimeter, mainly where the gripper rod is. And I've cut it out, so it's going to be easy for me to actually paint to the very bottom of the skirting. Now, we are having new carpet, and before I get the final coat on, I'm hoping this will go for 2 coats. Not holding my breath. But it was not bad on that video. When we did that video, I was actually really impressed with this. Water-based, no smell. Brushes wash out nicely. What I'm going to do is vacuum before I put the final coat on. So this video is going to be a quick one. I'll probably keep it under 10 minutes, because I'm just going to show you doing the door and just give you a few pointers. And I'll start with the pointer. People have asked me, how do you paint a door? What do you do when you're painting a proper door? Now, this is inside the bedroom. Obviously, inside the bedroom. Let's try and level up. Right. What edges do you paint? Now, if you're a pro, skip through this, go to my next videos, because you know all this. Right, you're on the inside of the door. Which parts of the door do you paint? We've seen Doris painted numerous times, but we've never had a frame to actually show the proper correct procedure. You know how to paint a door properly, because there's the videos there. But when you're doing a room, the hinge edge, if the door opens into the room, you obviously paint the flat of the door, and you do that. Latch, the latch edge, which is just there, there's the latch. I've taken all the latches and handles off. And then you do that part of the frame, the jar, the jam, whatever you want to call it, that part, and then the actual latch rail coming down. You don't paint the hinge edge, either of the door or the frame. What do you mean? When did you paint that? Yeah, I can hear you saying it. You paint that on the outside. If I was doing the hallway, the door opens into a room, I paint the hinge edge of the door and the frame casement. But I don't do the inner part here. Does that make sense? Hopefully it makes sense. So there's only two parts of the door frame, the top and the latch railed side, and then the actual door latch edge. The only exception to the rule would be that if you were painting really deep contrasting colours, you might want to take your frame round in the darkest colour. You have to weigh it up, but the proper way of painting a door is do the door, do the edge, and do the top rail and the side rail, inner edges we'll call it, to keep it simple. So I'll see you in a little while. I'm just going to get a bit of painting done, and then we can come back and we can have a look at this door with the ProDec roller. So see you in a bit. When you're doing a room, you saw me just do, fast forwarded it, you saw me just do the inner edges of that door and the actual door edge. That was mainly so when I come just to show you painting the door, I haven't got to go through that and it's shutting on a wet edge. But if you're doing an ordinary room, straightforward bedroom, a living room or anything, and you've got a windowsill, do your windowsill before everything else. Because if you start on a job, you make sure everything's dusted down and clean. You probably got a tack rag, or like I've got microfibre, damp microfibre cloth to kill any dust. But if you actually start with your windowsill and get that out of the way first, there's less chance of you picking up any debris or bits or fluff off carpet or anywhere else that you could transfer back into your paint pot. And I've got Worcester Pelican again. So do your windowsill first, because you've probably got virgin paint that's not got any bits in. Do your windowsill first, then do your door and frame, and then finish off on your skirting boards. Or before you finish your skirting boards, do your radiator if you're doing a radiator. But top to bottom really, finish off on your skirting boards, because if you do pick up any fluff around the carpet, or like I've done, cut round the carpet and there might be a little bit of grit on the floor, you don't want to be picking it up on your brush and then transferring it into there, then try and get a really nice finish on a windowsill. So that's just basics of painting and decorating. Right, I have used this, I've bedded this roller in. I didn't wash it out. Folks say, oh, wash it out, wash it out. I don't need to, it's microfibre, there's no fluff on that. I was quite happy with just bedding it into the paint, and I've done the windowsill in it, so it's now got paint on it. I've got a rad roller, I've not actually got a smaller frame to hold it on, so I don't know how good this rad roller is. It did seem to stick on me and not really spin. Look, it's not spinning brilliantly. So let's just see how we go. I'll cut in and I'll do my rolling and we'll have a talk, see what I think. Paint wise, this WRX goes on really nicely. I might need an extra coat on some of the areas. I'll put that 1, 2, 3 on first just to kill some of the creamy finish of the oil eggshell I used before, but I've got a feeling I might need a third if it doesn't cover fully. It looks like it's covering all right, but you never know. In proper daylight it might show up. Right, there's mouldings. Just a gentle layoff, and let's see what this roller's like across that. I bet it'll skid on it a bit. Probably a little bit too much paint on there. Let's lay it off a bit. Right. This feels a lot thinner than my Portuguese paint that I've used recently. If you watch that series of A Place in the Sun. You there? Yeah. Is it enough on there? I think that's right. I can go back over that. I've got a bit too much on it. Let's see what that flows out like without laying it off. Because the two fussy blokes are really nice for not having to lay off And with that AC Thane CIM paint, that was really like hand in glove. That paint was beautiful. The Portuguese paint. Got a little bit of paint on it. Not a bad roller. See what it flows out like. It's not looking bad. Can you see it? The sheen, yeah. This is an eggshell, so it will dry really flat. It's only the first coat, so I'm not too worried how it goes on. I don't feel confident enough with these rollers to actually do the mouldings without the fear of it actually running and creeping. So we're just doing the flats. Not bad. I'll tell you what, I'll stop the camera, let me get these bottom panels done, and then I'll come back to you. I've done those bottom panels, you can have a look down there, and I've just cut in on the hinge edge side. I've just cut in down the side where the hinges are and just across the bottom, so I can have a clear run of using the roller. Now, my problem was when I did that first panel, I'd got a bit too much paint on it, so hopefully this now will have enough to go all the way around. Let's see what it's like. It is a bit of a textured door, and don't forget this is the first coat. It's not looking bad. Trying to go with the direction of the grain of the door. Just makes it easier to roll. Not bad. Is it as good as the two fussy blokes? It's not far behind it. I didn't get, I'm just looking, I've got no sprint splatter over my hands. I think my only negative is the roller. This is a Stanley, I think it's a Stanley, is it? Yellow and black. Stanley roller. Yeah, the Stanley roller, it's just restricted it, free flowing going round. But I don't know, let's see what it's like when it's dry. You won't see it when it's dry, because the next time you'll see this room is when I've actually finished it, and it's probably a tour. But that's not gone on too bad. I'm quite happy with that. I'm going to do a bit of skirting board, see what that's like, and then I'll come back and I'll say goodbye to you. See that? Freehand, no tape. Inch and a half, Arrowworthy slash cut. Brilliant brush. There you go. Brilliant. Dead straight. There we have it. Done the skirting. Does it take me about half an hour? Probably not as much as that. When I come to give that second coat on all the skirting, I'll give it a nib down. Make sure I've vacked all the edges, because I did pick up a little bit of fluff. And while I've been off camera, that centre column there between the two UPVC windows, I did that one of the first jobs along with doing the sill there. That had dried off because I've had the heater blowing, and I've just given that a second coat because that is the area that I thought might need a third. So when I come back tomorrow to give the woodwork its final coat, hopefully, that's already had two because it was drying off. I really like to leave finished woodwork paints, even wall paints, till next day to give it the second coat. Normally they dry within about 4 hours, but you know, if you leave it next day, it does go on a lot easier. But to round this bit of a job up, how long have I been on it? I know I've probably got I've been about an hour and a half, and that's with talking to you as well on camera. I've probably got about an hour to finish. So I had 4 hours first day, 4 hours second day, and I've had about an hour and a half now, another hour. So let's call it 10 and a half, 11 hours to do this, and that was from that vinyl silk. I'd say no more. So we had to sand it down, done a bit of filling, corking, rubbing down, coating up 2 coats of anti-reflex on the ceiling, 2 coats of, well, I'll tell a lie, it was 2 coats of anti-reflex on the ceiling, and then when I came back the next day in the morning to do the corking up, I had an hour, I did another coat on the ceiling because it was a bit grunny. So 3 coats on the ceiling, 2 coats on the walls of Tikkurila Optiva 5, happy with that. And now I'm doing 2 coats on the 123 Zinza, which was already on the woodwork from the first day. So let's call it, I forgot about that, coating up ceiling, so let's call it 11 and a half, 12 hours. So not bad really, what a transformation, quite happy. And that WRX paint, if you've not tried it yet, it's very white. It's really good paint, it's really white. So happy with that. Videos will be coming up there. Thanks for listening to me. This wasn't really, I don't want to say quality and quantity of videos. This was more of a case of showing you how we're progressing with this renovation of the flat. And we've started now with the bedroom, and that's, albeit an hour tomorrow, I'm completed. So we're moving forward. And yeah, you know the reasons why I couldn't get on it with Christmas. The videos are there. With my son not being very well and in QMC with invasive strep A. Is fine, don't worry, is full recovery, which to all of us are very pleased and happy about. But no, thanks for listening. Videos are there, and I'll see you on the next section when we're doing something else on the flat. Cheerio.